Hi, so let's talk about the object has own property method. So why do we need that? We use the object has no property method to check if an object has a certain property. We want to be sure that the property exists, and if the property exists, then the method would give out the value true. And but if the property doesn't exist in the object, then the method would give out the value false. So let's take an example here. Let's just create a new object. So select my object. So we have that. Now we need to find out whether this property, that's the top, remember this is the property, this is the value. So if top exists, and if that exists, then we're going to bring out the value. And remember, it's always going to give a boolean true or false. But first of all, let's just log out the object. So I'm going to put that my object in here, and once I save that, now I have the object shows the two properties, bottom and top. So let me see now if this object has the property top. So first of all, I'm going to create a new variable, and I'm going to say is true, just to take the result of the boolean, whether it actually exists. Then I'm going to now use this my object here, and I'm going to now use the method on my object. Has own property, something like this here, has own, and this is capital P, so has own property. And I'm now going to put the name of the property in here. So in this case, it's going to be top. So I'm just going to do that, top here. So we expect this to give a value of true. So is true should give true. So let's copy that and log that out. So once I save that, now we have true. So the top is definitely in my object. What if we use another property, maybe say middle, and if we have middle, and now it says false. So we can see now that we can easily find out if the property belongs to an object. So let's try the task and let's see if we can solve that. So I'm just going to uncomment that. So it says modify the function check object, which we have been given, to test if an object passed to the function object that's here. So that's going to represent our object. Contains a specific property, check property. So this will be the property we're checking for within, whether it's found within the object. If the property is found, return that property's value. If not, return not found. So now we've given the example here of an object, my result. So we're going to use this to test the function once we create that. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create a new variable, and I'm going to say it's true. So I'm going to now use the object, which is this. Then I'm going to find has own property that way, and then I'm going to put in the property, so check property, and then I'm going to use the if statement on this. So I'm going to say if, so if this is true, so we can just do this something like this, true. So this is if this is true, that's equivalent to true, or we can just leave it this way, it's the same thing. So if it's true, then I'm going to, like it says, return that property's value. So remember how we return the value of a property. We take the object, and now we do not have the actual property we want to make reference to. So definitely we're going to use the bracket notation, and then we'll now put in the property we're going to check, that's this. that way. So we're going to return that this exists. So we can as well put this in a string. So we can say the value of the property exists in the object. So else, like that. So I'm going to clean this up. So now we need to call our function, and remember that we're going to put in two arguments. One is the object and the second one is the check property. So I'm going to call this function just this way, and the object, remember, is we have our example here, my result, and the property we want to check is if it has maths here. So we're going to make sure that we take this my result before the function, because remember we're going to try to call it here. So we can't call it before we create the object. So I'm going to copy that and bring it up here. And secondly, if we save that, now we see maths is not defined. So we also need to make this into a string here, because it's not a variable. So that way, and save. Now nothing, because we need to log it out. So I'm going to say console.log that way, and I'm going to put this in here that way. And by the time I save, now it says 87 exists in the object. So it's taking the value of the property we are trying to see if it exists. So this is the property and that's this thing. So we can as well change this instead of saying because see, it says return that property's value. That's why we made it this way. So we can just say this property with value, the value of the property exists in the object. So let me save that. So the property math with value 87 exists in the object. So what if we try to use another course here? Maybe I would say instead of math, arts, something like that. And once I save, it says not found. So that's how we can find out if properties exist within objects by using the has own property method.